Right, we're going to be watching Codkimo, who is playing DPS. It's Reaper, Tracer, and Soldier, I think, on King's Row. This is Diamond 5 on PS5, so console, I think. I want to show you one of my worst games. I know that I've done lots of positioning mistakes, engagement mistakes, and stuff. I was on a 1 to 12 or streak, so you can imagine how tired and tilted with myself I was. Still, I have a question: how much my aim ruined my gameplay? I mean, it's me aiming bad. The main problem here is it me aiming bad? That's the problem. I really can't understand why I'm playing so bad lately, so I thought another POV would help. All right, so we're gonna take a look. I already pre-watched this replay. Number one, I would say I don't think your aim is your problem. I mean, it is eventually a problem. Like it's going to prevent you from climbing to the highest ranks, but at the moment, I would say your decision making and positioning is far more of a problem than your aim. And we're going to walk through and we're going to talk through that. All right, so we're going to start here. So for context, it's difficult to see because he's facing the wall. They are playing on the opposite side of the choke. They were running to the right. The enemy team is going to be pushing in, and the idea is you form this crossfire from 1, 2, 3 angles, which is great. I think this is a really good spot to set up, and I think this is the right call. I, by the way, would not be doing your spray right now because they can hear that. So Widow gets a pick, unfortunate, but you still have a strong defender advantage. Gets revived. You should go for the Drinker Queen, which is great. Once she's that far away, you're doing very little damage, so I probably wouldn't bother and maybe would try to peek this way and see who's going to the choke. Moira comes in, completely ignores you. Great, 1, 2, excellent. She dies right here. Perfect. So as a small optimization, you have 5 shots right now. I would immediately turn and see what's coming through the choke because the Moira's not going to be coming through alone. There's always going to be more people following her. In fact, the Moira shouldn't be walking through here at all. So I would turn and immediately start fighting here versus reloading right away, which is what you do. This is a problem I noticed throughout your entire replay is that you reload way too much. You need to really optimize how much damage you're dealing to the enemy team, and you could have gotten another 2, 3 shots now by the time you're able to reload, which makes a difference, right? There are lots of scenarios where that will make a difference between winning or losing a fight. So you work on the Drinker Queen here. Cool, it's fine. I think that you could be a little more aggressive here in terms of swinging the corner and then fighting the people on the left, right? You have Wraith here. You can play very safe. Rather, you can play aggressively, right? Because you're safe because of Wraith. There's no reason to not be aggressive on the back line as well. Don't just exclusively force attack the Drinker Queen. You're low, all right? You pop Wraith, that's fine. One thing to note is without Wraith, you're quite vulnerable, so I would be cautious about whether or not you want to finish your Wraith in the front versus in the back. I think generally with Wraith, you want to end in the back, but you do get healed here. The enemy team is down, I think, 2 people right now, so I think it's actually okay to stay in the front, but you're going to make a mistake in the next fight that is going to cost you the fight. So this is fine. Definitely could have killed her a little quicker, but, not... it's like the difference between killing her half to 3/4 of a second faster. It's you could optimize on it, but it's not a huge problem. It's not the reason you're losing games. Right now, I would be perfectly fine swinging the corner and killing the Baptiste. So Moira does very little damage, right? Baptiste can do good damage, but he has to hit headshots. You're being pocketed with 2 healers here. Your Ryan's here. I think you go out and you aggress and try to get this Baptiste to get the pick. Instead, you play really safe, and you decide to teleport. So you obviously mess with the teleport. I think you're trying to reset back to left side. You're teleporting within view of them. Number 1, so that's bad. Number 2 is if you're going to teleport here, I would teleport over here to prevent them from hearing/seeing the teleport, right? If you teleport over here, a lot less likely they see it or hear it versus teleporting, obviously not in main, but even right here, they might hear it. Teleport through, right, and then you reset, great. And so now we just wait for the next fight. All right, same thing, Drinker Queen comes in. For the record, you should know that they probably know that you're here, right? Because you were played there before. If I were them, I would definitely check this, so be ready to bail out of this. Get a good shot on the Moira. You get pulled by the knife. You sit here, try to get healing. You get low, right? Call the Wraith, and then you're gonna come back. You see that Ashe is being rezzed right now. You still have all 5 people, and then you get healed up, and then you start walking forwards. So in this situation without Wraith, you can't go back to this spot anymore. The reason being is without Wraith, if they all commit on you, if all 4 people just run into you right now, you just die. There's no way you can stop 4 people running into you, even if a support is healing you. Okay, there's just way too much damage, and the Ryan's not going to be able to save you from that position. So you really can't go any further than here, and honestly, I think playing here with your Ryan is actually even better, because you can use the shield to get a lot closer, avoid damage fall off, avoid spread, and get a lot more damage in, versus trying to play over here where you can't necessarily do as much. It's another angle, but you're just not good in the mid-range. I would call this the mid-range, right? You're like 15 meters-ish away from the enemy, so you're not going to do a lot of damage. Especially with Shout Pop right now, they're very fast, so you need to be like, oh, they could walk into me and kill me. And we're going to be sitting here, fighting, right? They engage on you, and then you're going to die. And you die here because you don't have Wraith, right? Like, you're very aggressive here. You play a very aggressive angle. They all turn on you, and there's nothing you can do here. I guarantee you, even if the Mercy's pocketing you here, you probably die, right? You still have 2 seconds left until Wraith. You probably die there no matter what. So this is fight losing, right? I want to make very clear, your death right here should not happen. If you want to win games, that death is a major error that is entirely preventable, right? All you have to do is simply not be that aggressive without Wraith. And with you dead, the fight's going to fall apart, and they're going to win. All right, so reset here. You come back. You're looking to see if you can possibly contest. You don't get a chance. Great, that's fine. I would have started crouching right away because I think the Widow... Nope, she doesn't hear you yet. So you can go up, try to go for the Widow. You're still waiting. Probably waiting for your team to regroup, I guess. You could also, for the record, have teleported right now to cross this gap, right? So like teleported right here, seeing the D.Va coming up, teleporting right here, and coming out, and now you can kill it really quickly. But instead, this ends up happening, which is not so good. You're forced to drop, and your D.Va feeds, and the whole team is just staggered. You just need to get out. You need to die or get out right now. Yeah. Great. So you're resetting out. You cannot teleport up there, which I think you just found out right now. Now, one important thing is you want to sync with your team, okay? You need to look back and be like, look, is my team ready? Otherwise, you're going to walk into a 5-on-1 situation. Your team is not ready to go right now. They're still coming back from spawn, right? Still walking up. This is a very long spawn. This is the wrong timing to go. You've revealed yourself to the enemy, so they now know that you're there, and they're all going to focus you down, which is going to prevent you from doing anything, right? You see how they're all spamming you? This forces you back, okay? Which is, A, gives up the advantage of surprise, and B, ruins the timing, because now everyone comes back here to support you instead of pushing forward to go contest on the card. I think pushing left side again is still fine, right? If you want to do that, it's a close range fight. It's good for you. All right, you hear the Junker Queen over here. Yep, this is a good angle. Go for the Bay. Definitely would want probably a couple more hits in there. You probably only did about 30 damage to the Mei. I think that you're hoping to get 150 plus there, so aim definitely a problem right there. You are going to Wraith right now, but I don't think this is the right timing to Wraith because you're not actually injured. See? Like, you're basically full health right now. You see you're like 245-ish. There's no reason to be Wraithing right now. You should be fighting this out and then Wraithing when you absolutely need to, especially since there's supports here pocketing you. So you've wasted your Wraith right now. Because you haven't done enough damage, you don't have ulti, this would be a really great time to ulti. If you did more damage to the Mei, for example, and you didn't Wraith, you would have ulti right now, and then you could Wraith, reset, and then pop ulti again. So now you're already down 2. It's going to be very hard to win this fight, and you should probably just give this up. Yeah. So good thing that you didn't pop ulti, right? Because that was not a winnable fight, and now you're going to reset. Coming back again. You already got a pick on the Widow, which is great. I think you need to get aggressive right now. There's no reason to be walking backwards. You have to be walking forwards right now. Right? Walk forwards, forward. I think maybe you're thinking about the Baptiste, but he's already dead. Just walk forwards, help kill, the Moira, the Junker, anybody. Like, you got to be in there. You're going to teleport up to try to get the Mei, which I think is a reasonably good call. She pops ulti, traps you in it. You get out. You're probably looking for ulti out of this. You should always shoot first before ulti to get extra burst damage in. That might have actually killed the Mei. If you shot first, this might have killed the Mei first, right? You see that she gets all the way down to 30 health before popping Ice Block, 25 health. So if you shot first before you pop ulti, which is instant, right? Shot immediately ulti, you would have killed her. So just as a mechanics perspective, that's something that you could have done better. Go for the Mei. I would avoid jumping so much, especially if you are fighting Mei who's slowing you anyway. Just like focus on hitting like really, really good juicy shots on the Mei. Now, unfortunately, from here you end up dying. You're gonna die with Wraith available, which is really bad. This is also what I would consider a significant error, right? You have plenty of time here to Wraith. I wouldn't say plenty of time, but you have some time here. By the way, if it's tight, you can hold down the button. I think this works on console as well, but you can hold down the button for Wraith and it'll pop as soon as it's available. Because if you pop Wraith here, you come back, right? You reset on the cart, maybe buy some time for your D.Va, you go after the Moira, right? You could end the Wraith here, 2-shot the Moira, fight the Junker Queen, regen enough. It's possibly winnable here, right? Like, I would say you're not favored, but I would say there's at least a 40% chance that you could have clutched this fight yourself, along with your baby D.Va. I think without baby D.Va, there's like no way. But all right, coming out again. You're playing a soldier. I think this is a good switch, right? Long sight lines. And we're just gonna go here. You're just gonna spam a little bit. It's fine. Really good aim on the Junker Queen. That's like basically perfect tracking. That was like 90% plus tracking right there. I think the console aim assist is probably really helpful there. All right, just shooting a little bit. Yep, poking away. It's fine. Would have really liked to have gotten the kill on the Baptiste there. I think this is a fairly straightforward kill, especially since he's jumping, and you can also pop Helix here on the ground to kill him. Helix does 120 damage on a direct. I think it does 80 damage on a splash, I would guess. I don't know offhand, but it should be enough to kill the Baptiste. Right? You should have killed the Baptiste there. So Baptiste should already be dead. Great, 2 kills. We push forward. All right, cool. So we're just resetting, won that fight. I don't think you should be playing here, right? First of all, I don't think you should be frontlining. You should not be the lead element, right? The lead character who they're fighting into. That's not really your job, number one. Number two is you're going to sit here and get spammed with the rest of the team. Number three, Soldier's really good at off-angling because of his healing. Okay, so unlike other heroes, like if I'm playing, Ashe over here, if I don't have a Mercy Pocket or whatever, I can get poked out of this angle really easily. But I'm Soldier, I drop Heal Station, I can stay here forever. So I think that you really should think about holding off angles more as Soldier, right? Versus just playing main with your team. If you want to play here with your team, I would play Cassidy, who strongly benefits from playing up close and also defending his teammates way better than Soldier does. So you're caught out in the open right now. This, by the way, this spot is like basically death. There's no cover for you at a short notice. So things like Mei ulti, Cassidy high noon, Baptiste window, even Zarya just beaming you down are a huge problem. You stay out here, right? So we're gonna shoot. Window gets popped. You do a good job breaking LOS here. You pop Heal Station. This is unnecessary. So there's already a Mercy here. You have Moira coming out of spawn. You barely taking any damage. There's no reason to pop Heal Station right now. You're shooting. This is another great reason not to jump. So you get lifted really high in the air here. I think you jump here. Yeah, I don't think you can possibly get that much elevation unless you also jumped. But you should really, really avoid jumping. Very bad. There's many videos and posts on why jumping is bad. You're going for the Baptiste. Great, get the kill on the Baptiste. So Zarya's going to commit on you right now. The correct thing to do right now is to immediately start evading. So you got a few options. Number one is that you could pop Heal Station and then just zigzag back and forth really quickly. I think this is probably harder on console than it is on PC. On PC, it's fairly straightforward to just keep doing this like over and over and over again, right? Like you can do it pretty significantly. Option number two would be to zigzag and just get behind this, and because you're faster, you could literally just keep running in circles around this and prevent her from ever hitting you. So that's probably the safer option, is to just simply run to cover right now. But instead, you just kind of face tank her and then you die. I would consider this another major mistake. There is no reason the Zarya should be able to kill you here. Like, there's 2 supports here. Like, you have plenty of space. You see the Zarya coming. There's no other pressure. Like, literally just running behind the barrier and you should be fine. But yeah, dying here, very, very bad. So that's probably going to cost you the fight. You're going to get revived here. You're working on Zarya. Same deal, right? She's beating you down. All you do is stay alive. Okay, if Zarya is focusing you down with high energy, your goal is not to try to kill her unless your team is able to help, which they cannot do right now. Your goal is to stay alive. So simply just running around the corner and then coming back when she focuses somebody else is great. If she chases you, great. Just keep running in circles and she'll never kill you. Instead of trying to dodge or be evasive, you literally just walk towards her. So I want to show you it from her perspective. Right, so she beams. And you see how you're just jumping and walking at her? It makes it so easy for her to get like 100% of her attacks on. Like, learning basic evasion and movement skills, like how to duel, how to fight, how to stay alive, will go a long way if you want to play DPS. Alright, so you're going to come out of spawn here. You're going to pop Visor here. This is a very bad Visor. The reason being is your team already has all high ground control. They've just gotten to pick on the Moira, right? Your tank is still up. I don't think you need Visor right now. Right? I think it's a huge waste to pop Visor right now. Right? See, the Lucio's basically dead before your Visor even is active. So this ends up being a completely unnecessary Visor. You should pop Heal Station earlier for your D.Va to try to prevent her from losing mech. You win the fight, but you use Visor there, and you really should not have used Visor. You really should have saved it, recognizing that you're up. Remember how I mentioned earlier that staying in the open is death because of so many different reasons? Soldier's going to pop High Noon here. The correct call would have been to immediately sprint inside. Instead, you decide to challenge this. Obviously, he just kills you. Right, looking at it from his perspective. He pops it. You have a lot of time there where you could have sprinted to cover, even where you were, which is still pretty open. And you just didn't do that, which results in you dying. And if you die, every single time I die, I assume I'm going to lose the fight. I think that's the perspective you should have if you want to climb, if you want to win games. If I die, I'm going to lose. My team is going to lose the fight. Dead players make no plays. So focus on staying alive. Dying, especially dying first. Dying first is like the worst, right? If you die last, nobody cares, right? This fight's over anyway, usually. But if you die first, that's a huge problem. And dying first consistently is usually a sign that your positioning is a huge problem. Positioning/game sense. You try to contest, you can't get in because you get bumped back. All right, is what it is. At this point, there's nothing you could have done differently to win from there. So we're gonna come out as Tracer. So I can already say that your Tracer is a huge step down from a skill level perspective, right? So if your Soldier, let's say, is probably your best hero, right? Or Soldier Reaper is probably, they're talking about Diamond 5, right? If they're Diamond 5 level, I would say your Tracer is low gold, maybe, right? It's literally, like, I would say 2 tiers of rankings below, right? It is a huge difference. I don't think, at least based on what I see from this game, I don't think you look comfortable in Tracer with any part of her kit. The blinking, the rewinding, the dueling, the aiming, right? The game sense, pulse bomb, they're all a big problem. And I'm telling you this not to try to like put you down or anything like that, right? I'm just trying to highlight that if you play games and you're playing to win, if you play heroes that you're a lot worse at, maybe you didn't realize that you're worse at Tracer, but I'm pretty sure if you look at your win rates by hero, you'll see that your Tracer win rate's lower. If you play heroes that you're a lot worse at, it reduces the chances that you're going to win the game. Okay? Like, you playing as Tracer is going to end up wasting some time here where you're not doing anything of value. So, for starters, you're going to come out here, right? Go up top to flank to the right, which I think is great. I don't think you need to use that blink, but that's fine. Tracer, Reaper's here. You should never fight a Reaper that close as Tracer. He can possibly one-shot you in the head at that range. So, no reason to take that fight. By the way, you also took this Mega on the way in. You really... actually, did somebody else take the Mega? What actually happens here? Alright, you come out here. Oh, it's a damage orb. Yeah, just tap the I need healing button. I don't know what it is on console, right? Get somebody to heal you versus taking this Mega. But it's not a big deal, but it's going to matter because the Reaper's up here. So once you fight here, you're going to back out of this. For the record, Reaper didn't see you there or hear you, so I would have expected like 80% plus tracking in that situation, and you only hit about 50%. So you fight, you're going to rewind, but the problem is you're only at 97 to begin with, so this is not great. You really, at this point, should just wait to get the healing and then return. Now the problem is you have 97 health. You're going to be at 97 health for like the next minute. So you're trying to push the off angle. You really need to get full health. Tracer is so delicate as it is that you really should get the extra health. By the way, you could have just done the one jump, one blink over here versus having to go to the right stairwell. So you flank. Your tank's dead right now. You're going to go for the Widow. The Widow is probably going to hear you right here. Yeah. So when you blink in. Yeah, so she hears the footsteps right there. And then she immediately puts Venom Mine. That's a good Venom Mine by her. So you come in. So one thing to be aware is like, what is the sound radius that people can hear you? She was able to hear you from that distance. She reacts accordingly. This flank is ruined. So what you could have done here is you could have done blink and then blink right away and immediately one-clipped her. Right? I think that's probably what a better Tracer would do in that situation. Or maybe from back here, right? Blink only to the front lip here. Wait, right? And then double blink in and kill the, or crouch walk and then kill the Widow from there. But she hears you. She's ready for you. You honestly should have just died right there. She should have hit this. She should have backed up slightly and just hit this headshot. So she comes up. She knows you're low because she can see your health. You 100% should have died right there. Yeah, very, very lucky that you didn't die. You can even die to a fully charged body shot. You think about challenging, but then you don't. I don't really know what your plan is here. Like, the problem with watching your Tracer gameplay is like, I don't really know that you're thinking through a plan. You know, like, you went over initially, like, okay, I'll contest the Widow, but you weren't full health to begin with. Then you only half-heartedly contest the Widow, and now you're just wandering around on the point. Like, standing on the point right now does absolutely nothing, because the team's right here, the Widow's here, like, you're going to need to give up this spot no matter what. There is the Mega Health Pack over here that you could grab if you want to. Venom Mine gets popped. Again, there's a Mega Health Pack behind you. I'm going to guess you're relatively new to Overwatch because you don't seem to know where the health packs are, but that's very important as Tracer. Tracer and Ball, who play very independently of the team. You really need to get health. I would even grab the mini inside the statue because Widow can kill you in one body shot right now, which is going to be tough. So you come in and engage. This is not a great spot to engage because you're right in LOS of the Widow. Again, the Widow should kill you in one body shot right now. Is a very straightforward kill at this moment in time. So you're fighting, and your team's getting rolled. And I'm going to pause right now, and I'm going to reset, and I'm going to explain why your Tracer is so low impact. So remember, you went to the right side, you like sort of go after the Widow, but not really. She has plenty of time to take shots. Let's look at what's happening in the choke. All right, your team is fighting. Okay, they got a DPS here, right? They have the Mei here, the Reaper here, and the Widow, who are all putting pressure on the choke. You're doing nothing right now. See, Reaper jumps in. Oh, he wraiths here, but he's putting a bunch of pressure on your Orisa. Your team is fighting 4-on-5 while you're messing around in the back line, right? Not even the back line, on the flank. So again, your team's still fighting 4-on-5, right? The Widow is constantly putting pressure in. The Orisa gets picked here. Now they're walking your team. There's no angles. There's no space. You're just not doing anything. And this is a huge problem for you on Tracer. You know, if you want Tracer to be one of your heroes, I think you just one-trick Tracer, right? I think you're going to lose a whole lot of games, but you'll get better at Tracer. But playing Tracer only occasionally is not a good idea unless you have literally thousands of hours of the game. Tracer's one of the hardest, if not the hardest hero to play in the entire game, and you can't play Tracer casually if you want to be any good at her, at least. It's just way easier to play other heroes relative to the amount of hours you invest in on it. So staying as Tracer here, you go to the left for some reason. So one option you can take right now is go right side and then start damaging here because there's no line of sight on the Widow, but the Widow dies anyway, which is great. But javelin kill, wow, that's crazy. All right, so you push right side of the statue. This is good. So aim is a problem right now. It's going to be a big letdown. This should be probably a 50% plus hit on the Reaper. You miss 95% of the shots on the Reaper in this situation. Again, he's not even dodging you. This is a really bad duel for you. You're way too close to the Reaper. He can kill you in 3 body shots pretty easily. Good hits there. Lots of people purple. You should have gone for any of the purple targets here. Right? You can see 1, 2 people are purple. You got to kill these people right now. That's your job as Tracers, like get these cleanups. That's what they need you here for, is to get these cleanups. But instead, you don't shoot anybody, right? You have plenty of ammo. You don't shoot anybody, and you just throw pulse into the middle of the point. For the record, I think you're trying to hit the Reaper with a pulse, but he's coming out with half health anyway. You could just one-clip him. Tracer one-clip does 225 damage, 225 or 240. Can't remember what the exact number is right now. But more than enough damage to kill Reaper at 110 health. More than enough to kill a Reaper. So you should have killed the Reaper in this situation just with the gun, with the Tracer guns, or any of the other 2 heroes on the point. Also, it's a bad time to throw Pulse Bomb because you don't need an ultimate. Your team's already won this fight. Like, if you look at this coming in, it should be pretty clear to you, hopefully, is pretty clear to you, that this fight is over. At this moment in time, stepping in, you have your full health Orisa, you have your Ana here, you have your Moira in their back line, you have 2 extremely low health targets who are both purple, and the Reaper, who's half health, no Wraith, running away. This fight is won. And you need to read that in real time and think, I don't need to throw Pulse Bomb here. I can save Pulse Bomb for the next fight instead of just wasting it right now. Alright, fight ends up being won. Still playing as Tracer. Again, you don't add any value on the cart. That's not what Tracer does. You should play, for example, Cassidy or Reaper or Mei or Symmetra or any number of other good brawly heroes. It is not your job as Tracer to be playing on the cart. You should go through right side, right, and poke here, right? Actually, honestly, it's probably better to go over here, right? Apply a lot of pressure here. Use the mini, use the mega health pack, right, to apply pressure from the backline. You staying here is not helping your team at all. Reaper drops out of, I think, left window. Or just, yeah, he drops out of left window. He pops ulti, you should immediately blink away. You do, great. You gotta get healed. You have to be careful about walking in the front while you're not at full health. Alright, shooting away. So again, you're not doing anything right now. All you are existing, right? You happen to be here, but you're not doing any damage. Right? And damage is your primary job. Like, you did 15 damage to the Baptiste there, maybe, right? That you did 5 damage maybe to the Cassidy. Right? There you did maybe 30-ish damage to the Junker Queen, and then you die. So in total, like, I don't think you did even 200 damage across 3 targets with 3 clips. That's not what you're looking for out of Tracer. You need to be doing way more damage, right? Or distracting more. Neither of what you're doing. Like, they're just running over your team. So your Tracer, far and away, your weakest character, and will definitely cost you games, right? Because that cost you, you're only at 245 right now, so it costs you, 2 minutes off the clock. You should be walking forwards right now. When Orisa ults, generally when your teammates ult, you should run in, not away. If you're running backwards, you should be running towards the fight right now. If you don't know, damage fall off exists in the game, and it's a very important concept. The further you are away from targets, the less damage you do. Generally speaking, it's a lot more complicated than that, but generally speaking, that's the case. So when you want to kill people, get closer to them, not farther. And you have to identify, but they also do more damage to you, so you have to identify, like, can I survive here or not? Now you're too close. You shouldn't be ahead of your tank. As a general rule, you should never be between, as DPS or support, you should never be in the space between the 2 tanks. That's like no man's land, right? So when your tank goes forward, you go forwards. When your tank backs up, you back up. So your tank is dead right now, so all of this space is now in danger because their Junker Queen can just walk into you. So you have to be very careful about not walking forwards. Instead, you decide to walk forwards, you're playing way too far up, you realize it, and now you jump back. Got you healed up, Junker Queen still chasing you down, right? Again, you can sprint away from this really easily. You're so fast, sprint, right? Get the minis, sprint, zigzag, get here, get the mega. Like, you got a lot of options to not die right now. I think dueling the Junker Queen at close range while she's being pocketed by Moira is not a winnable fight. She's just way too much damage, and there's too much healing here for you to possibly win this fight. Just running away from the enemy is surprisingly good value as Soldier. Just wasting her time, because if you pull her in deep, like let's say you run over here and Junker Queen tries chasing you, she'll just run into all these people in front of your spawn, and then she'll end up dying for it. But you dying early gives the Junker Queen time to retreat. Alright, Kitsune's popped. You should use Kitsune to come forwards. High Noon's popped. I can already sort of tell that it's close to the right, but you weren't sure, so you checked, that's fine. Right? Just trying to put damage in. Rampage is popped. So Rampage makes you purple, right? Anti-nade property, so you can't anti-healing property, so you can't be healed right now. So popping heal station is not useful because you literally can't be healed right now. So you need to immediately run away from the Junker Queen because she's looking at you. Right? This gets popped. She's looking at me. I immediately sprint and I zigzag away. That's like a basic skill that you gotta get better at. You happen to get saved by Kiriko Suzu, which is great, but you shouldn't have even needed it. You could just survive by running away. Kill Cassidy, great. So you win that fight. So we're coming down to the very end of the game, right? I think you got 2 fights here. So you're trying to shoot people. You're gonna get blasted and killed right now. So I think you're trying to look for, hey, like, put some pressure down, get some kills here, which is the correct thing to do. The problem is you're not reacting well to the spam. So I see this rocket coming in on my left, and I see a rocket coming in on my right. But the rocket on my left is much closer. So the correct move is to strafe to the right here. But instead, you don't react to it at all, right? So this rocket comes in, and then bumps you. Oh, no, actually, this is a Junker Queen knife pull at that, I think. Yeah. So right there, you heard it, and you can see it on your screen. You can see the knife, right? It's actually in your face. So when you get hit by knife, you need to know, and maybe this is like just you being new to Overwatch or whatever, that you don't understand how mechanics work, but Junker Queen can pull you towards her at any moment in time in the next 4 seconds. So your goal right now is, I don't want to get pulled and killed. So just run away. Literally just run away right now to prevent the pull from pulling you out of position. Because this pull ends up pulling you in, you eat that direct rocket, and then you die really, really quickly, faster than your supports can save you. So again, that's another major error, a fight-losing error, because you don't react to the fact that you get knifed there. Like, you're totally tunnel visioned in on trying to kill the Pharah. If you survive right now, you could just stay back here, you have Visor, you pop Visor right now, you kill everybody. Right? They have no shields or anything to stop Visor, so like you probably win the fight there if you don't get killed. But also as a note, for off angles, you could have gone left and played this angle too. And it's very, very hard for them to deal with this, right? If the Junker Queen shouts and runs at you, just sprint away, right? You can just sprint and be like, oh, nope, and just peace out of there. And that wastes her time. I think this probably costs you the game because this is your best opportunity to win the fight. So you're on Pharah. So I would say aim not as good as I would like. The Helix rocket also gets missed. I think you can hit more shots than that, but it's not the worst, but it doesn't look like low diamond level aim. But again, I think that even with your aim being the same, you could easily have won this game just by playing differently. Soldier's low, aim for the soldier. Okay, great. I would be careful about staying too close. Junker Queen's gotten Rampage every single fight. You should be sort of tracking that mentally. Be like, oh, Rampage is a problem. I gotta watch out for this. So you should not get closer to the Junker Queen, and you need to dodge here. This fight actually is even better. This is a 4-on-1, so you just need to dodge here. Like literally, you don't need to fight. Like if you just after she rampages and goes through, right? Fire Helix, right, at her feet, and then evade backwards, right? Get around the corner if you need to, and then start shooting. Because you're just standing here in a straight line, she just shoots you twice and kills you. There's no reason for you to die here. I want to emphasize this. This is another major error. You should not die here. It is very, very easy to simply evade this, right? It does now, I think, 40 on impact, 60 over time. So you should only take 100 damage total from here, right? And the rest of the shotgun shots you should evade at this point, right? Just evade, just run around the corner like you're good, and then run around the corner, and then you should still have heal station here, pop heal station, and then fight it out, or use your supports, or whatever. There's so many options here that result in you not dying, and the Junker Queen dies. And then from here, you could pop Visor, and then kill the Moira, kill the soldier, right, etc., and then you win the fight, and then game continues. From here, you're not going to get another contest. Like you're not going to be able to get back to the point in time to contest it. Okay, so what's your main problem? Is it aim? It's definitely not your aim. If your aim did not improve at all, you could easily have won this game. Like, based on the way everyone is playing this game, I think that you could have won this game with your aim being exactly the same. I think that you have an 80 to 90% chance of winning this game, just from better decision making. The biggest thing that's dragging you down is your positioning and dying, right? You're dying to things that should not kill you. Okay, it's one thing if, like, for example, if they nano blade and they kill you, okay, it is what it is, right? Or if the Pharah dives in and two-shots you, right? Or Hanzo hits you with an arrow really far away, it is what it is. Like, those are deaths that, like, okay, fine, like, there's only so much you can do to prevent them. But all the deaths that we've covered are 100% preventable. They're not like you losing a 1v1 duel. They're you doing something that is not a good idea, and then you end up dying. So that's the stuff that you really need to cut out of your play, and I think your win rate will skyrocket from there if you can just cut that stuff out. That's your biggest problem, number one. Number two, I would say, is your Tracer is a huge drop-off in skill, and you need to make your own decision as to whether or not you want to keep Tracer as part of your hero pool or not. If you do, I would strongly recommend that you one-trick Tracer from here on out. Again, you're going to lose a lot of games, and just practice playing Tracer. Because otherwise, whenever you pull her into a game, you almost, you drop your win percentage by like 10% or more. Just by playing Tracer for only even a couple minutes. It's a huge gap from the skill of your other heroes, the impact of your other heroes. After that, we can get the small things, but I think those are the two biggest problems by far, right? And, we talk about ult usage or aim or whatever, but those aren't nearly the priority as simply just staying alive. All right, hopefully this is helpful.